Hey guys, it's Tim from Edge of the Realm. So this is the first review that we have, camera moved. This is the first review that I've ever done on the channel, and I'm really excited to do it. So this review is going to be on the KRYDRUFI all-in-one modular paint system. I'm going to try to make this as fast as possible. I don't want this to be like a 15-minute video because I like to look at a YouTube video, get to the point, get out, and go do what I got to do. So I do want to preface this by saying that I did buy this with my own money. I reached out to KRYDRUFI to try to work a collaboration with them. I got in contact with the CEO. I don't know if that's normal, but I tell you what, it made me feel important. And he was very straightforward with me. He told me, hey, we don't do tests or free product reviews to accounts that are less than 1,000 plus followers. So I was like, okay, that's fine. I'm gonna purchase one anyways and then do the review. And he was like, we would love for you to do it, go ahead. So here we are. Now, I saw ads for this thing for like months. I saw it on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and I think I even saw some on YouTube. And I finally just decided I really want to do this. So we're going to go from top to bottom, kind of speak on the portability, the versatility, and the accessibility of it as a miniature painter, and specifically just a miniature painter. So first and foremost, the portability of it is awesome. It's kind of lightweight. It's got a little bit of weight to it, but it is lightweight. And I'm able to fit a lot of stuff in here. So I wanted to do this review and I wanted to kind of give you guys and gals a no shit assessment, right? So I have my mini here that I'm going to be painting this week, and it's a Warhammer Terminator that we're going to be painting in the style of Black Templar. So I said to myself, well, let's just get all the paints that I'm going to need for this mini and see if it fits. So we have the painting handle and the miniature. We've got 4 brushes, right? We got our dry brush and then our paint and detailing brushes. And those fit in there. And then we have our water cups. I'm going to set this to the side for now. And then inside of my water cups, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 paints. So that's everything that I'm fitting in the top of the case. Put it all in there and I'm ready to go paint. That is really nice. You know, I don't have to worry about my paints rolling around in whatever container I'm trying to hold them in, keeping everything in different containers or bags or whatever the case is. It's really nice to have everything all in one spot. So then we're going to move into the water cups. Now, admittedly, I don't really use the water cups. These guys have just been sitting on my paint desk. I haven't even bothered to use them. Just because I've been using this big green box part right here for my water cup. But these things have the rubber textured bottom. That is, obviously you can take it out and wash it if you need to. Mine's a little dirty because I've been using the hell out of it, but that is super nice to have, and it does come with 2, 1 for each cup. So there's the other one, right? And then you have your 2 water cups. And like I said, I haven't been using them, but you have the option. Set those to the side. Now, one of my favorite things about this system is the brush holders. It comes with 4 brush holders. Now, I have 2 free-floating brush holders right here. And then you have 2 brush holders that I don't really know what to call this, but I'm just going to call it the bristle guard. This piece down here, so the brush actually sits. If you put it in there, it actually sits, and it does cover the tip of the brush. So that's super nice to have. you know, while you're painting, to make sure you don't hit the bristles of the brush or anything like that. Now, the way that I have been painting in my very small space, what I've been doing is some satisfying clicks. I use this. This just sits on my desk like that, and then what I do is I take my, these two right here, these are the ones I use the most. I put them on the inside of the cup, and then I just take my brush, clip it into the holder, and then the brush just sits in the water. You know, it keeps the bristles wet. So if I need this brush, I don't have to worry about soaking it and getting it wet or whatever. It's just ready to go. I grab it, dry it off on a paper towel or something, or my painting pad, and I'm moving. Now, I will say these things are fairly secure for the brushes. So if we hold this on here, right, and we move this up and down, that brush isn't going anywhere. Now, it will tilt just because of the weight of the painting handle, but I mean, it's not falling out. I feel like one of those Dairy Queen people, you know, where they, is it Dairy Queen where they flip the Blizzard? But yeah, I really like that part of the entire system. It's probably my favorite. And I'll show you guys just so you can see. My dumbass, for like the first week, I kept trying to take my brush and slide it down into the holder. I didn't realize is that all I had to do was just take the smaller portion of the brush, just clip it right in. That's all you got to do. So it's really nice to have. We'll set that to the side and move on to the next part. Now, the system that I bought was the more expensive one. I think it was 45 bucks, and it came with all of it. So it comes with 2 wet palettes, 1 pack of wax paper, and the wax paper, I don't know how many sheets are in there, but honestly, it's probably like a month and a half supply. I paint every single day. Wet palette usually lasts me about 2 to 3 days. This size wet palette lasts me about 2 to 3 days. I also refrigerate my wet palettes to prevent any mold buildup or anything like that when I'm not using it. But this lid right here has these clips that you can put your wax paper in there, so everything's here in the system. It's ready to go. You don't have to worry about loose packets of of wax paper in your drawer or anything like that. It's here, it's neat, it's ready to go. This is the wet palette itself. I'm one of those people that puts coins on my paper to keep it flat. This one's been in the refrigerator for about a day, and it's still moist. Still moist, still got it, it's ready to go. So that's also nice to have. And then if we unclip it, like I said, it comes with 2 wet palette holders. And then I only use 1. I haven't had the need to use 2, but you have that ability if you need it. Really cool thing about the wet palette system is that it actually clips together. This is the other lid. Oh. So you can actually take your wet palette, take the lid off of it. Don't know why I put it back on, whatever. And then they clip together. Boom. So if you need to have 2 wet palettes, they're together, you move them out of the way, they're always with each other. That's super nice to have too. Moving on to the next part. Now, again, I want to make sure I'm clear on this. I am a miniature painter. I'm not a canvas painter, I'm not a face painter or anything like that. So take this with a grain of salt. These are the paint compartments. Again, the system that I got came with 2. And admittedly, I haven't used it. I used it the first day just to test to see if it would keep my paints dry, and it did not work out. I believe that it just doesn't seal well enough to keep the paints from drying out. But this is what the inside of it looks like. So you've definitely got a lot of compartments for paints. The compartments are really huge. Again, we're we're miniature painters. We don't use a lot of paint at all, so these compartments are way too big for us. And it just, my paint dried up almost, honestly, like within an hour, my paint was dry. So that was kind of a bummer. But the good news is that you don't have to buy the system with these. You can actually build your own system if you want to, and I think that is really cool. So if I could go back in time, I would definitely get the system with just the cup, the water cups, and one wet palette. I don't see myself ever needing to. Maybe if I'm teaching a paint class and somebody wants to use a wet palette, I guess I could bring two, but everything just kind of goes right back in. And then you put all your stuff back. This brush here. Boom. Let me take that. And that part, honestly, is satisfying. Now, my dry brush is too big to fit in, so my dry brush just kind of hangs out, but for your detail brushes, it fits perfectly. So, and then we take our miniature, and we'll throw him in here. And I'm just showing you guys just kind of how I set it up before I even started this video. And I put my paints in. Actually, I didn't have these in. I think I had them sitting over here. No, I had them on the outside. That's what it was. Boom. Boom. So my paint holder, my brush holders are on the outside. And then I have room for the 9 paints. And these are Citadel paint pots or Games Workshop paint pots. So, you know, if you're using dropper bottles, if you're using Army Painter, you can fit a lot of paints in here. So that's super nice. But for your paint pots, I got 9 in without worrying about them spilling out or anything like that. There you go. And then we'll take our wet palettes apart. I think we're going to take them apart. How did I put them together? Oh. There we go. Don't break it. Don't be like me. And flatten your paper back out. This guy goes on top. Clippy clip. Unclip and unclip. This goes here. There you go. Everything's in. And honestly, like I said, I think that this is all you really need as a miniature artist. You need your water pots and a wet palette, and then your wax paper storage, which it comes with a wet palette. So that's my no shit assessment on it. I don't think you need the paint compartments as miniature painters. I just don't see it feasible for storing our paints or transporting our paints. I like it. You know, I paint, like I said, in a small paint area, and it's really nice. Like, this is a mouse pad, and that's how big it is. This is a standard mouse pad, and that's how big the whole thing is. So it's really nice to have it, you know, removes all the clutter on my painting area, and I like that. So if you want to pick one up, definitely do so. Try it out for yourself. Don't just take my word for it. I highly recommend you guys do. I don't really have any complaints besides the advertising for storing the paints in this. That's really my biggest gripe, is that it just didn't work for the paints that we use. Highly portable, highly modular, and really nice. If you want to pick one up and you'd like to support the channel, use code EOTR, Edge of the Realm, EOTR, and you'll get 15% off your entire order. Thanks for stopping by, and see you in the next one.